If you've been comparing your life to someone else's lately, this is for you. It is so easy to feel like a friend has more or better of whatever you want. More beauty, more fun, more money, more vacations, more friends, better marriage, better kids, better job, better hours, better house. But comparing ourselves to other people is a fast way to suck all the contentment and peace out of life. I was looking at our wall of Christmas cards the other day, and it hit me. I was comparing myself to some of my friends. Now, I love Christmas cards, and it brings me so much joy to hang them up for the season, see old and new friends, hear about what they're up to. But on this particular day, I found myself feeling dissatisfied with my life. All the smiling people clearly had their lives figured out, and why does it feel like I'm so behind? When I notice that I'm thinking negatively like that, I try to stop and examine the thought and replace it with God's truth. So let's do that together with 4 ways to talk back to the comparison trap. But first, if you find this video relatable so far, will you consider liking it to help others find my video, other people who might be feeling the same way? And if at the end of this video, you feel encouraged, which I hope you do, consider subscribing to help me out as I continue to create more free content. So here's 4 ways to talk back to the comparison trap. Number 1 is root yourself in reality. So often when we compare ourselves to other people, we don't even know the whole story. We see glowing highlights of people's lives and assume that's all there is. I have a friend on social media who's always posting pictures of herself on beautiful vacations. That's all I know about her, is she takes great vacations. And I kind of just roll my eyes as I scroll past. But the other day, she shared this long post about how hard her year has been and how she's had 3 different cancer scares. And I was like, what? She hadn't shared any of those throughout the year because it's social media and she probably wanted privacy. If I look closely at my life, I can do the same thing. I share things that I'm excited about, and I save the hard things for a handful of people that I'm close to. We all have hard circumstances. Not at the same time, not in the exact same ways, but nobody's life is perfect. So one way to talk back to negative thoughts, comparing your life to someone else's, is to ask, what might be hard about their life? What cost did their success come at? Not that you're reveling in someone else's pain, but we don't want to look at other people's lives with the grass is greener mentality and then just look at ours through discontented lenses. Number 2, a second way to talk back to the comparison trap is to remember who is in control. Isaiah 64:8 talks about how God is the potter and we are the clay. You are the work of his hands. Psalm 139:16 says that God knew every day of your life before you were born. And I love Ephesians 2:10. For we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. God has a plan. And who am I to talk back to the potter and tell him I don't like what he's doing? When we compare, we desire to rush through seasons that God is using to shape us. Number 3, a third way to talk back to the comparison trap is to reframe the situation. I was giving my 2 youngest daughters a bath the other day, and I saw the problem of comparison play out right in front of me. Since kids verbalize exactly what they're thinking, no filter, it actually taught me a little bit about our inner dialogue when we make comparisons. So my 7-year-old got into the bath a few seconds after my 4-year-old. 7-year-old Charlotte was furious that 4-year-old Caroline had gotten the side of the tub with more bubbles. So she immediately cried out, "It's not fair!" And then she muttered, "Caroline has way more bubbles than me. She always gets everything she wants. I never get to pick what I want." Did you notice those 2 phrases? She always and I never. And that's exactly what we do too, isn't it? Even though we're older and more mature and we're not comparing bubble amounts, our hearts cry the same thing. It's not fair. She always, I never. We take one small situation and we extrapolate that out to be a metaphor for every aspect of life. The enemy loves comparison because it keeps us focused on what we lack instead of what God has already given us. So, how can we reframe things? My daughter Charlotte could reframe and say, right now Caroline has more bubbles than me. But I know if I ask my mom, she usually adds more bubbles. Part of the reframing step is also noticing the gifts that we do have. What would other people see when looking at your Christmas card? Step 4, our last step, is super practical. Remove the comparison triggers. Now, I'm not going to take down my Christmas cards because normally they bring me joy. That was just a certain day, a certain mood, but maybe I delete social media for a while if that's always triggering comparisons, or if a show I watch is always triggering it, maybe I pick something that's more uplifting to watch. It's crazy how often we feed the mindsets that harm us. So I hope those 4 R's can help you the next time you're struggling with the comparison trap. I'd love to hear in the comments about the verses that you turn to for this specific struggle. Let's keep talking back truth to those joy-draining thoughts.